Welcome to the intro video for the Acceleration Lab. We have finally gotten our kits, so I am super excited to be able to use the equipment and see what we get for results. Now, there's a couple of different ways to take data for this. I'm going to go through using the equipment in the kit on this video and with the setup anyways, with it on the kit for this video. And then I'll talk a little bit more in the discussions thread about not using the timer here. But let's take a look at this. We have our little blue cart. Sorry, I don't know why I did that. We have our little blue cart here, which is attached to some of the white roll of paper, and that is threaded through the spark timer. Now I'm going to get close up here and take a look at the spark timer. Notice that the edge of the blue cart and the spark timer should be parallel to each other, and the paper goes underneath that carbon disc there in the center. Then the paper comes out the other side, and you're probably going to have to hang on to the paper on the other side, otherwise it will cause too much friction, but you can play around with that when you start. So we have our setup here. We have our car and our spark timer. I put the piece of tape in front of it so the car wouldn't start rolling, because if you can take a look here, oops, wrong way, sorry. If you take a look here, you'll notice that I have made one end of this table a ramp. You are going to also need to make a ramp. You do not have to do a full table. You can just get a piece of wood and do it on that. Or if you have a kitchen table or a dining room table that has a leaf to it that comes out, you could use that. But this is the general setup of the lab. Give me a minute and we will go through a run and see how this works. Okay, so now you will notice that I've changed the setup slightly because I did a few trial runs with the cart, and you're going to have to do the same with yours. And you'll notice that I added a book underneath the timer here. The reason for that is because you want to try and make sure that the paper that is between the timer and the cart is as horizontal as possible. Now mine's a little bit higher, but that's still okay. And I also had to add a weight to the cart because it's such a light cart. So now I have it all set up. I'm going to press the timer. I'm going to take the tape away, and I have to hold up the paper because of friction. And voila, there you have it. The cart has moved. If we look at it one more time, I got it all set up again. This time I'm holding the tape rather. So that is the motion that I want you to take a look at, and I want you to think about what are the possible factors that affect that motion, as well as what could you experiment on to be able to describe the motion of that cart. So remember, again, if we're looking at the timer itself, the paper goes through it, and you hold it down and it there, you can see it creating sparks through the carbon, which create dots on this paper. So this may help you understand a little bit better on how you're going to get data for this. So you can see the points and the dots spread out as the tape goes along. And each one of these dots is made at every 1/60th of a second. Okay, every dot is 1/60th of a second of time. We can see again that I still have it on a ramp. If we don't attach it to the ticker tape timer, it still rolls down the ramp. So the question really becomes twofold. Number one, what are you going to do to describe the motion of this cart? How are you going to take data to do that? Number two, think about that white piece of paper like a motion map without the arrows on it. And that should give you a pretty good idea of what we're going to be looking at for data. So within the discussion board, please put what do you think are all of the factors that affect the motion of this cart as it rolls, and what particular things do you think you want to do for an experiment, and how would you measure them? And then I will make some comments on the discussion board, and give you some more details about what it is you need to do. If you have any questions, also post them in the discussion board. Okay, bye.